All right, welcome back everyone. This is our final lesson in our 10 Tips for Teens series. I hope you enjoyed the previous 3. I know I've had a lot of fun making them for you. Just a quick reminder that again, this Thursday, May 28th at 2 o'clock, we have our last question and answer session. So please come to that with any questions that you have, and I'll also have you fill out a quick online survey about how you liked the course. So yeah, look forward to that. And with that, let's get started. So quick review of what we learned last time. If we remember, we talked about smart snacking, prepping snacks before we left the house, different types of snacks, and we made some yummy peach salsa, so I hope you enjoyed that. And today we're going to be diving into goal setting and how to make good goals towards our health and a healthy lifestyle. So before we get into that, we'll just review our My Plate one last time. I'm sure you guys are pros at it. So we have our fruits and vegetables taking up half our plate. Remember, we want to eat all our different colors to get those vitamins, nutrients, and all those yummy benefits that come with them. And remembering that fresh, canned, and frozen, there's no difference nutrients-wise, so all of those are good. Obviously, fresh is going to be cheaper when they're in season. And then we'll turn to our grains, remembering we want to make half our grains whole grains, so getting those brown rices, oatmeals, whole grain pasta, however you want to fit those into your diet. Then lastly, our proteins, so varying those up with some chicken, beef, fish, nuts and seeds, peanut butter, tofu, beans, really just trying to get multiple forms of protein all throughout the week. And then lastly, our dairy, so having our low fat and skim dairy products like milk, cheese, and yogurt. And then kind of like we talked about in lesson 2, remembering that water isn't on our plate because it's not a food group, but it's still super important for us to drink and stay hydrated, and we want to stay away from those sugary beverages. So now let's get into goal setting. So today we're going to talk about goal setting, and first off, I just want you to pause the video and think and write down one goal you have. It doesn't have to be about health, it could be about sports, school, family, anything. Just pause it here and write down one goal that you have. So we'll return to this goal later, but now I just want to go over the 5 key facts about goal setting, and then maybe later we can make some different goals knowing what we know now. So first off, you want your goal to be specific, realistic, because that works best. So you don't want to think of a huge goal like, oh, I'm going to score 50 points in one basketball game. Like that, if you're not already scoring 50 points, is kind of not realistic. But if you could do I'll score 1 3-pointer and 1 normal 2-pointer shot in a game. That's a good place to start. You accomplish that goal, then you can make it a little bit bigger. So starting with realistic and very specific goals are going to work best. Number 2, you want to find out what motivates you. So why would you make a goal towards going on walks every day if you don't really like walking? If you really like playing an instrument or running around playing soccer, then make a goal to play soccer every day instead of going for a walk. You want to make a goal that you're going to be motivated to keep and achieve. Number 3, it takes time to make a habit. I'm pretty sure it says it takes 21 days to make something a habit. So, if at first it's really a struggle, that's okay. You got to keep doing it. The more you do it over time, the more then it will become a habit and therefore achievable. So it takes time. Number 4, roadblock doesn't mean failure. So like I said, it takes time. If you are great at maybe having steps toward accomplishing your goal for 2 days, but then you fall off for another 2 days, don't worry about it. Just get back on the goal train and keep trying to get there. Any roadblock, you can get around it. Just keep on trying. It doesn't mean failure. Don't stop. And then lastly, number 5, the repeating of a goal is what makes it stick. So kind of like what I said about how it takes 21 days to make a habit, you're not going to go on one walk and then be like, oh yeah, I'm a walker. It's going to take that every day or every other day repetition to really then have it be built into your brain that yeah, I go on a walk every day. So again, really focusing on our repetition. So those are kind of 5 main facts for when it comes to goal setting. So now, if you want to take a second to look back at the goal you made at the very start of this lesson, think about those 5 facts, and then maybe see if that goal was realistic. Do you think it can become a habit? What roadblocks do you see? And think about maybe if you want to tweak that goal a little bit. So go ahead and pause the video here. Awesome. Well, I hope those tips were really helpful for you. And now we're gonna keep thinking about goal setting and habits, but we're gonna go towards our health lens now. So if we wanna take a look at our handout for today, we'll see that this handout will help you plan meals and also have some healthy habits that you can build into your day and your lifestyle. So we can start thinking about goals and habits for our health. So on the first page, we see ways to kind of create healthy meals. It says pick an item from each food category to plan a healthy meal. You can see some healthy meals at the bottom. So if you want to, after this video is done, not right now so we can get through everything, just kind of think of maybe some sample meals you might want to try, or make a goal to have each food group at all of your meals. So you can kind of look at this and figure out ways to accomplish that. So that's a super awesome page. And then on the second one, we can take a second to look at all these habits, and I want you to create a goal and a plan to achieve it. So for example, we see be active in gym class. So maybe you're not super active during gym class, but you want that to be your goal. Write that at the top of your page and then come up with 3 action steps on how you could make that become a reality. Or at the bottom it says save screen time for after your activities and limit it to less than 2 hours. Have that be your goal and come up with 3 action steps on how you can then achieve that goal. So if we want to pause the video here, take a second. You can use one of the ones on this list, or if you want to come up with a health goal of your own, go ahead. But write a health goal and then come up with 3 action steps on how you could possibly achieve it. All right, well, I hope you made a super awesome goal. I'll be interested to hear what it is. Maybe we can talk about that at the live Q&A session this week. But now we'll turn to the last page in our handout packet. And so I think this is really cool because it provides links to a website that can help you create your own My Plate plan. So it's personalized. You can figure out what and how much to eat every day. It can also kind of break it down to just make sure you target different food groups. So instead of having a specific calorie goal, just making sure you eat all your food groups throughout the day. Make sure you're getting the right amounts of veggies and grains. So a lot of flexibility and personalized. So I definitely encourage you guys to check out all those links and maybe set up a plan. Totally optional, but I think it's pretty cool. So if you want to pause the video here and play around with those links, go ahead. But also if you just want to do that later, totally fine. All right, everyone. Well, that's all I have for today and for this series. I hope you've really enjoyed it. But yeah, let's go get cooking for our last quarantine kitchen. And today we're going to be making some pumpkin pancakes. I really like this recipe. I think they're perfect on a lazy Sunday morning. So yeah, let's wash our hands and get into the kitchen. For this recipe, you'll need 1 cup of whole wheat flour and 1 cup of all-purpose flour. If you just have one type of flour, it's totally fine to use 2 cups of it. 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 1/4 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, but if you don't have that, like I didn't, you can use a mix of cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 egg, a 1/2 cup of canned pumpkin. Make sure it's not pumpkin pie filling, just plain pureed pumpkin. 1 3/4 cup of milk. I didn't have any low-fat milk, but I did have some almond milk in my pantry, so I'm going to be using that. And 2 tablespoons of canola oil. All right, hey everyone, welcome to our last quarantine kitchen. Like I said, we're going to be making some pumpkin pancakes, so get really excited about that. And just like our blueberry muffins, they're a great thing to make on the weekend and then you can have throughout the week by storing them in the fridge. So this is another great healthy whole wheat breakfast recipe. So with that, let's wash our hands and disinfect all our surfaces. Remember, we want to follow good food safety guidelines. And then let's get cooking. So first up, again, like our blueberry muffins, we're going to want to add all our dry ingredients into one bowl. So first off, we'll do our 1 cup of whole wheat flour. And then we're going to do 1 cup of plain white flour. Next is 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Then we're going to add our pumpkin pie spice, and like I said earlier, if you don't have that, like I don't, I'm just going to be using some cinnamon, ginger, and nutmeg. So first we'll do a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. then a 1/4 teaspoon of ginger, and then an 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg. I don't have a 1/8 teaspoon, so I'm just gonna fill my 1/4 up with halfway. All right, and those are our spices. Then lastly, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of salt. Then we can use our whisk to whip up our dry ingredients and kind of blend them all together. Now in a medium separate bowl, we're gonna do our wet ingredients. So first we'll do our 1 egg. Then we wanna do 1/2 cup of our 100% pure pumpkin puree. And remember, a good way to know if it is actually 100% pumpkin is to just look at the ingredients and see that there's only pumpkin in it. Next, we're going to add our milk, and remember, we're not trying to make extra trips to the grocery store, so that's why I'm using the almond milk that I had in my pantry. You're more than welcome to use whatever milk you have in your pantry or fridge. All right, so I'll add our milk. And then lastly, we're adding 2 tablespoons of vegetable or canola oil. All right, so those are all our wet ingredients, so we can take our whisk and then we want to gently mix them all together. All right, then once our wet ingredients are all combined together, we can add them into our dry ingredients. And then we want to mix it all together until smooth. It might be a little lumpy, but if you just want thinner pancakes, then add a little bit more milk in. We want to remember to really scrape the sides and make sure there aren't any extra clumps of flour or dry ingredients left over. Want to make sure it's mixed up all super well. Perfect, that looks good to me. So now we're ready to turn on our griddle and let's cook these pancakes. Right, so I set my griddle for medium heat. I'm gonna spray it with cooking spray so my pancakes are easy to flip. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and use a little spoon to scoop out my batter. All right, and then we're just gonna let them cook. All right, so then once our pancakes, if we look at the bottom, start to turn golden brown, that's a good sign to know they're done and they're ready to flip. And once they're cooked all the way through, we can serve them onto a plate and enjoy. All right, well, thank you everyone for joining me for this last quarantine kitchen. I'm just cooking up the rest of my pancakes using what I have left in my batter. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing this series with you all. I hope you enjoyed it too. Don't forget, for any questions you have, we'll have another live Q&A session on Thursday, May 28th at 2 o'clock. So your teacher will send out all the information you need for that. And yeah, I hope you have some great cooking adventures this summer. Keep in touch if you want to have any other questions or want to let me know about things you've tried. I'd love to hear it. But other than that, enjoy your summer and I'll see you on Thursday.